Hey guys, this is Mel, and I'm here to talk about Supernatural episode 1314 titled Good Intentions, which premiered Thursday, March 1st, 2018 on the CW. It is March 6th that I'm recording on. So if you haven't seen the episode, please go do so first and then come back to see what I have to say about the episode. Otherwise, my other video reminders are up on screen right now. Take a moment to remind yourselves of those. Also, March 1st was Jensen Ackles' birthday. So that's one great way to welcome Supernatural is on his birthday. So anyways, moving on, start with the 10-minute clock. Let's begin with what happened in this episode. So timeline-wise, not particularly sure how long it's been between episode 1313 and 1314, but it's definitely been confirmed in this episode that Jack is 6 months old, which lines up with, it's been 6 months September, if you want to do it like that, but it's definitely been 6 months since episode 1223 and 1301. So there is that. Huge episode reminder is the fact that we get an update about the apocalypse world. So the episode breakdown, I pretty much picked, it's pretty much two different storylines in the fact that you get the first one happening on our world, and that deals with Sam Dean and Castiel dealing with a corrupted Donatello. And then the second one deals with what's happening on the apocalypse world. And that is the focus on Jack escaping from the angels and freeing Mary and then finding their way into this rebel camp, I guess you could say. So with the first storyline in regards to the corrupted Donatello storyline is that he managed to decrypt the demon tablet, but in doing so he ended up getting corrupted by the power that is the tablet due to the fact that he doesn't have his soul. Because of this, Donatello even tried to get Sam, Dean, and Castiel killed, but in the end, Castiel used a spell to strip the spell they needed from the tablet from Donatello's mind, which didn't end well for Donatello. And it was a spell that Castiel had promised himself he'd never use on another person without their consent. So there's that. And with the Apocalypse world, as I said, we see the return of Zachariah in a different meat suit, and he tries to, I'm assuming it's the same Zachariah as we met in season 4 and 5 of Supernatural, of course. But he tries to turn Jack to their side with mind manipulations while Michael wanted to do torture. But in the end, Jack escapes with Mary. They end up running into Bobby Singer. And eventually, Zachariah and the angels track Jack to Bobby's camp. And chaos ensues, but Jack defends the camp by not only killing a few angels, but taking on Zachariah as well. So the last scene of the episode, though, shows Castiel telling Sam and Dean that they need 4 main ingredients in order to open the rift to the other world to get to Jack and Mary. And the 4 ingredients are the grace of an archangel, which they knew about. The second one is a fruit from the tree of life. Third is the seal of Solomon. And the fourth being the blood from the most holy man. No clue how they're going to get the other 3. So there's that. But tidbit-wise, though, I guess you could say it's kind of surprising because despite being inside the warded dungeon, Donatello was still able to perform a spell on Dean, which caused Dean to suffocate until he was out of Donatello's range. So there's that. It's the same trap that Dean was put when he was a demon. So it's interesting that Donatello managed to get a spell off of that. And also, we find out from Bobby that Mary Campbell had saved his life a few times, and he wanted to return the favor for Mary Winchester. So there's that. Now, end tally, death tally. We get Donatello, who's not actually dead, but he is brain dead due to Castiel stripping the spell from him. Also, 2 ancient warriors, Gog and Magog, were both killed by Dean. So there's that. Also, Apocalypse World, Zachariah, and a few of the other angels were killed by Jack when they ambushed Bobby's camp. So moving on to the most shocking moment of the episode, I have to say, I guess the main one was shocking just because I wanted to see it happen, and that was the amount of power we got to see Jack use. But the storyline shocker was that Donatello wanted Sam, Dean, and Castiel killed off. and pretty much he wanted to hoard the power of the demon tablet to himself. So there's that. I wasn't expecting that kind of a reaction, though it makes sense how him being without his soul caused him to be so corrupted, because his soul was supposed to act like a filter for the prophet between him and the tablet himself, the immense power from the tablet. So anyways, moving on to my top 3 favorite moments, I have to say a huge favorite overall had to be the moments in the apocalypse world, mainly the return of Bobby Singer. We got to see Jack meeting Mary and how their dynamic was, and then also just to see Jack's powers against the apocalypse angels was just fantastic. And then as well, pretty much Jack really shined in this episode, because another thing was Jack always referring to what he has learned of what Sam and Dean would do. He's looking towards when he's trying to figure out what should he do, he's always like, well, what would Sam and Dean do? And a lot of it was just great reminders that even though Jack is by himself in this world, technically, he's still keeping in mind of where he's been the last 6 months, who took him in, who tried to teach him, and all that. So just really great to have him always referring to them for a reference. And also in this episode, we do get Dean referring to both Jack and Mary as being family, because he wants that family reunion and all that. Another favorite of mine has to be the fact that Dean killed these 2 mythological warriors, Gog and Magog. I mean, first off, you have to understand that when Donatello first brought up Gog and Magog, Castiel was stunned. He thought they were just rumored myths and such like that, didn't think they were actually real. Fast forward to when they're actually real, they're summoning them, and these 2 warriors expect armies to come and face them and get defeated by them. They're a lot taller too, they're like giants essentially, but Gog and Magog are expecting armies to come and try to defeat them and yet fail, and yet you get Dean Winchester take on both of them, or take on whichever one, take on one of them, kill that one, and then go to the second one and kill that one before Castiel can be killed by him. So you have one human taking on these 2 supposedly superior warriors, and I thought that was truly fantastic. It's one of my favorites because of the fact that it truly demonstrates how much of a warrior Dean is, and I think many creatures underestimate that, and it's absolutely amazing to see, because not only do we have to remember that Dean spent 40 years in hell being a torturer, but he also spent however long he did in purgatory. It's a year for us normal time, but who knows how long time is spent in purgatory that transfers to. So there's that. And then his time as a demon, it's just that I love it when it's moments like these, yes, violent, but I love it that these are moments where it truly demonstrates how deadly and how truly lethal he could be, because he usually hides it behind humor and stuff. So it was just really great to see, and that's why I love it. But another thing that really bugged me, though, during that scene, though, was the fact that Castiel, who is an angel, who's supposed to be more skilled and more powerful with years on Dean, didn't manage to do any damage. He just maybe distracted one of them, got his butt kicked a few times before actually. That was the only little peeve about that scene I had, is the fact that Castiel should have had more of an upper advantage. But anyways, another favorite of mine has to be the fact that Castiel did what was needed to be done to get the spell and its ingredients from Donatello. It was while on the one hand it's very depressing to hear Castiel talk about them preparing for a war by Apocalypse Michael, but it was great to see that Castiel was still willing to do whatever was necessary to get them ahead of the game. It's kind of like a throwback to season 6, when he was dealing with the war up in heaven, and he was trying to do everything he needed to do to ensure a win. But it was just great to see that reminder and just to see him learning from his mistakes, and he even pointed out the fact that if he didn't use the spell, then they would be waiting around until they found and be waiting around until they got him to break. Or if they killed Donatello, then they have to wait around to find a prophet. Wait for them to decrypt the tablet, which takes more time, and it's time they did not have. So it was just great for Castiel not only to point all those things out, but also take action. So that was great as well. Moving on to top 3 peeve moments, aside from Castiel getting his butt kicked by Gog and Magog, I didn't really have any issues with the episode, so that's a good thing. So move on from that is, what moment will I remember most about this episode? I'd have to say the fact that a good half of it was done in the apocalypse world. So I'll just leave it at that, and there's the timer. Moving very quickly to random questions. First one being, will we see Bobby again when the apocalypse world is shown again? Or was this a one-time thing for him? Because I'm assuming, since Jack and Mary are now in Bobby's camp, that means the next time they show the apocalypse world that we're going to see Bobby again. So I'm hoping for that. And last question, will Jack delay his return to Sam and Dean so that he could kill Apocalypse Michael and end the war there? Or is he still going to try to find a way to get back to Sam and Dean while also his side mission being to stop Michael? So what's the priority here for Jack? So there's that. But moving on to predictions very quickly, based off the promo for 13-15, it shows Sam and Dean having a briefcase of money. Nuns are involved. It's so confusing. I have no idea what's going on. The synopsis for the episode does make it a little better. It reads that Sam and Dean are close to collecting everything they need to open a rift into the apocalyptic world and possibly rescuing Mary and Jack. The one missing ingredient leads the Winchesters to a black market for religious relics where everything is not always as it seems. So I wonder what they're going to find there if it's not what they think it is. So there's that. But that synopsis is giving me the impression that they've kind of gathered all the other three of the 4 ingredients, and the 4th one is going to be found in this episode. That's what the synopsis is giving me the impression of. But I don't think that. I think we're going to actually see them obtain these 4 ingredients in an episode of its own. So we got to figure, maybe there's more minor ingredients that are needed. So there's that. Also, guys, just some outsider news, because I don't have any other predictions based off of that. But just after 13-13 aired on February 8th, 2018, the Hillywood show had announced that their parody for this year will be a second Supernatural parody. It's been 3 years since they did the first one based off of the storyline of Dean and the Mark of Keen. So I'm super excited to see what they have in store for the second parody. I'm wondering which storyline that we've seen on the show they're going to get inspired to use and tweak it to their own Hillywood style. So I can't wait for that. Also, another reminder that episode 13-16 is supposed to be the crossover with Scooby-Doo. So that is fast approaching, guys. But otherwise, what did you guys think of the episode? What did you guys like about it? What do you think is going to happen next? Let me know in the comments down below. Love to hear what your own thoughts, theories, and opinions are about that. Also, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and check out my other videos if you haven't done so already. If you want, check out my Tumblr page. The link for that is down below. I read blog promos, web clips, quotes, GIFs, synopses, news, all that good stuff, all found in one place, so go check that out. Want to check out my Livejournal entry account, the link for that is down below. It's a point-by-point recap of the episode as I watch it for the first time. It helps keep my memory in order. I hope it helps you too. But the link for that is down below as well. Otherwise, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for your patience. I hope you come back next time to see what they say about the next episode. But until then, this is Mel. Wish you all a great day, great week, wherever you are. Bye for now.